The new 15% down program is here. And I kid you not, you could buy, using a DSCR loan, an investment property at 15% down instead of 20%, which allows you to have more properties every quarter, every month, or every year, depending on where you're at in your portfolio. So in this video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step plan on how you can utilize this program for yourself to be able to scale a little bit quicker and add a few more rental properties as we head into 2026. So what's really cool about this program is that a lot of people used to be capped at 3 to 4% in seller credits. Usually, seller credits are helpful because they cover the cost of the loan, so you can basically get the loan for free if you have enough seller credits. But the problem was they capped it. However, now you can not only do 15% down, but you can also increase the seller credits. You can get up to 6% in seller credits with this program. Back then, the rates were pretty bad and they were pretty expensive. So it was 15% down, but not really, right? 15% down, but you still have to pay extra. So I was telling people might as well just do 20. However, with this program, you can use seller credits and the rates actually are pretty decent for what you're getting, right? So I'll show you in a second. With this program, a lot of lenders used to cap at 4%, but now you can get up to 6%, okay? And if the seller agrees, great. If they don't, increase the purchase price, and we'll talk about that later on. So the core pillars of this program is this: 50% down, seller credits up to 6% of the purchase price. There is zero seasoning on cash out refinances if you want to take cash out, and we do 30-year fixed mortgages, right? It's best for people with over 700 credit scores. You can buy up to a 4-unit property 15% down with this program, which is absolutely insane. And they only want long-term rentals, okay? So you can't do Airbnb. I do have other programs for Airbnb or short-term rentals, but for this one, it's long-term. And typically for reserves, they want 3 to 6 months, right? If you need financing help, by the way, if you have any questions, you're like, Ben, I'm stuck on what you just said, or I want to structure this for my personal life or my personal portfolio to see how this will work out, just book a call, links in the description, or you can send me an email. So let's talk about an actual example. Let's say you're buying a duplex, 2-unit property for $425, right? So let's break it down. 15% down would be $63,750 as opposed to 20% down, which is $85,000. Look at the difference there, okay? Notice how that's like a $20K difference between buying 50% and 20% down. So that's $20K in your pocket to go buy more deals. And you might say, Ben, $20K is not a lot, right? And I would say first, wow, you're such a high roller. Second, I would say, look, it may not be a lot on this deal, but it adds up, right? On every single deal, imagine saving 10, 20, 30K in your pocket. That's going to add up. That's going to allow you to buy an extra 2 to 4, 2 to 5, 2 to 10 properties heading into the next year. So I want you to keep this in your back pocket as you're buying more and more properties, because you guys have to remember, DSCR loans do not care about your debt to income ratios. They look at the income from the property that you're buying. As long as the rental income covers the mortgage, you're okay. So that's how you can keep buying 20%, 15% down, more and more rentals, as long as you have the cash, as long as you have the credit, okay? So in this example, let's say closing costs are $12,000 with your 15% down payment. Let's say total all in, you need $75K, right? So if you get seller credits of 6%, which is $25K, right? In this example, let's say going back to the 425 duplex, right? They were listing it for 400. We did believe it was going to appraise at 425. That is the key. You have to make sure that it appraises at that value, right? So what we did was we increased the purchase price by $25K, all right? And they gave us that back in credits, right? So 6% max is $25,500. In this case, they gave us $25K, right? So the net cash to close drops to $50K. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So you're getting $20,000 saved because of the 5% down. You don't have to pay anymore, right? So you don't have to put the 5% extra down if you don't want to. And you're getting $20,000 over 20K in seller credits, right? So that's over 40 grand in your pocket that you now can use to go buy the next deal, right? Now note that seller credits cannot exceed closing costs. So I do want to preface this, that in this example, I'm just saying, hey, your net cash to close could drop to $50,000. However, if your closing costs are only $15,000, but the seller is giving us $25,000, then what we can do is just increase the origination, like increase the points to buy down the interest rate so you get a lower rate. And that's basically it. We can add home warranties, maybe some other things, but ultimately your credits can only cover whatever the closing costs are. They can't cover the down payment, okay? So keep that in mind as we move forward, okay? example one, let's talk about a Chicago deal because we do these a lot, right? So let's say we want to buy 2 different rentals. Okay. So this investor came to me and he was like, I have 2 rentals. I want them both, right? And he needed every penny he can get. So he used this program to do 15% down instead of 20% down each, right? So look at the numbers. 350 purchase price, credit of 730. We gave him a 7.375 rate at a 5-year prepayment penalty with 2 points. Okay, so 50% down programs used to have rates of like 8%, 8.5. Like it was atrocious, paying like 3 points, right? Now you're at 7.375 with only 2 points. Like for a no income, no debt loan, that's crazy, right? So we use this program because the rents were able to get the loan to qualify. And so we use the seller credits to cover the loan costs. So think about it. Like if the sellers are covering the cost, guys, you're getting this loan basically for free because the tenants are covering the mortgage payments. You're not paying the mortgage payments. You're not paying the interest. The tenants are. And the sellers are covering the upfront loan costs. So what are you getting? You're getting the appreciation benefits. You're getting the tax write-offs. You're getting the value add benefits if you choose to go that route to eventually take cash out to go buy the next deal. Do you guys get where I'm going with this? That's why this is so powerful. Let's look at the last example, then I'm gonna wrap up, right? Sorry, typo there, but he was tired of buying single family rentals and he wanted to buy multifamily, right? So he bought a 4-unit property using the 15% down program and got seller credits because there was enough margin, right? So he found a 4-unit. In our market, this is common. Other markets, it's pretty common as well. 850 purchase price, had a 710 credit score, gave him a rate of 7.5 with a 3-year prepayment penalty at 2 points, right? So how we use this is very simple. It's for long-term rentals, 30-year fixed terms, up to 4 units, right? We want good credit, and you can do zero seasoning if you want to take cash out for this program. So if you want to run numbers to see, like for example, with this multifamily investor, if you want to see, hey, can I qualify? Will this building qualify? We can help you run those numbers and figure that part out. I'm a big proponent of multifamily. So if you can use this program for multifamily, I would go that route. So if you guys have any questions, any deal scenario, send it over. We're going to see if it qualifies. We'll walk you through step by step, and we'll give you a lot of hidden strategies right now at a high level that guys are doing, because I'm working with investors all over the country. I'm not just working with investors in one state or one city. So I get to share with you just strategies that are working, and we're very investor friendly. We're very creative. So we'll figure out a way to get it to work. So I hope this video helped. We can get one step closer to your financing goals, right? As we say. But anyway, if you really have any questions, just book a call, send us an email, and we'll find something that works for you. Hope this helped. Thank you.